Hello, welcome back to another live recording session at Tech Central Innovation Hub, level 13. If you don't know where we are, you better find out. If you do not know where we are recording this, overlooking this beautiful view, overlooking Tech Central, Central Station and Atlassian building. And we are in the jungle, of course. In the jungle, we talk to the experts. In the jungle with JC here on Startup Circle. Before we start, let's roll the jingle. Welcome back. I'm operating the live stream with my Stream Deck on my iPhone. So, why we do this session? Because MVP Venture Grant is opening again.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Yes. So since last year in September 2025, they've already gone through 2 rounds. The 3rd round is coming up on, I think it's on the 9th of March.
9th of March.
Opening
very soon.
Yeah.
And there is no better person than this gentleman sitting here next to me to make it happen, go through it with you, to prepare your readiness to apply for the grant program. And if you haven't yet met Jonathan, haven't yet seen his material online, link in the description below, link in the NoteBookLM link in the description below. Find out more about Jonathan. But a quick intro. He has been sitting on both sides of the table of a grant business. He has been an entrepreneur, found his early business in web building, application, website building, outsourcing work, early 2000, many years ago, an exit business. And since then, I met Jonathan back in 2018 when I was the lucky recipient of the New South Wales MVP grant program for one of my past business. And today, so that's why Jonathan is one of the experts here in Sydney that can help you understand the expectation, the needs of the grant body. That means the assessor side of the table. And you, on this side of the table, you're lucky enough that Jonathan is now actively helping startups in applying for grant.
Yeah, so a quick clarification there, man.
Yeah.
Disclosure. No, I'm not part of the government, okay? Because he made it sound like I am.
Yeah, exactly. He's not part of the government.
I used to. I used to be part of the Investment New South Wales team back in the days. It's called Jobs in New South Wales.
Yeah, that's right.
I was one of the members in there with the previous iteration of the MVP grant.
That's right.
I was one of the assessors back then.
Yeah.
Not now. Back then.
Yeah.
And at that time, I probably went through over 500-600 applications, but for the previous iteration.
For that program.
That's correct. Yes.
So that is the key thing I want everyone to pick up from Jonathan today in this session, is that every program, every cycle have its own unique
it's a totally different program. It's a totally different program. Yeah.
Exactly.
Despite the fact that they share the name, the 3 letters MVP, it's a very different program.
Yeah. Okay, so moving right along straight to the question. We prepare a few questions here, and moving right along straight to the first one.
Let's do that.
If someone in a startup founder thinking about getting help from state government, New South Wales government specifically, and they wonder if they should apply for this one, how do you help them navigate that thinking process?
Okay. Well, I guess I can share some insights, just working with hundreds of different founders previously on a lot of different grant programs.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially for a program like the MVP Ventures, because it's designed for a very early stage. A lot of founders are pretty early in their journey. They probably haven't done it before.
No.
It's probably the first time that they're trying to raise capital. So there are a lot of the learning curve is quite high. Mm-hmm. Okay. But from my experience, a lot of people when they ask me, hey, am I eligible for XYZ grant program? And in this case, let's say, MVP Ventures program. Okay, am I eligible? But really, what they're asking is, am I likely to get the money at all?
Of course. If it is unlikely,
No, but
I'm
the
not going to apply.
the key point I'm going to say is, am I really likely to get the money? If not, I'm not going to waste my time.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Is it?
I think that's a.
And it's actually not only wasting their own applicant time, but it's actually wasting assessors' time as well.
When you think about
which is very valuable.
That type of attitude, it's not the best.
Very valuable.
It's not the best. It's not the best in your entrepreneur journey.
Yeah.
People spend years building up their concept, their business. Spending a whole year or even 2 years trying to raise pre-seed from friends and families, angels, with very, very little chance of succeeding or getting any money at all.
Yeah.
Why do people put that kind of effort in? But once the capital issuer becomes the government, their attitude change, entirely. And I think that might be a blind spot for a lot of people.
Yeah. That's right.
And back in the days, we jokingly always say any grant program is not centering for business, right?
No, definitely.
So I think the mindset is quite important in approaching raising capital.
Yeah.
Grants alike. That would be my first piece of advice for everyone.
Okay. So I'm picking up a mixed signal there. Yes, they need to understand their probability of getting the grant, but at the same time, is it a worthwhile exercise for them to sharpen it? Because I do remember hearing you and other advisor sharing a conversation the other day at the UTS event.
UTS, yeah.
And you can and one should consider a VC or a grant body just like a customer. If you can sell to that customer and convince them to part their money to you, it's a good thing, is it?
Absolutely. That's Brian Lim's quote. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So capital raising is an ongoing journey, right?
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It's not like I've got a concept, I put together a pitch, and I just send it out there and see who bites, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's an iterative process.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So going through angels, going through VCs, going through government programs, it's you have to put in the effort.
Yeah.
To see where it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And my point is, you need to put in the effort.
Yeah.
As simple as most founders who come to me have never really read the entire guidelines.
Okay. Because they are too busy.
They thought it's not worthwhile.
Oh.
It's just government stuff.
Oh.
Right? I'm really focusing on
I
the
don't
attitude.
have time for this.
Yeah.
I'm too busy building my solution.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. Yeah. If you're too busy, don't even go out and raise capital. Seriously.
And I do hope that most of you out there discover this video and reflecting on what Jonathan is advising us, and that is you spend your time on the customer-facing side. That means talking to your real customer, building a real solution so that it really genuinely generating revenue for you. And government, if the word of Brian and Jonathan worth 2 cents in this particular point, is treat government grant program as one of your customer, and you now want to convince them to part their money to you.
Yeah, and as part of your capital mix.
But
because most grants are match funding.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's not beyond and end all.
Exactly. And then, but also keep in mind that not everyone out there in the world is ready to buy your product yet, because your product may not fit the problem that the grant is addressing at the moment.
Most product I've seen has not found a market yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not even about the grant,
Yeah.
right? It's a product market fit thing.
Is Australian population growth a part of the key area that this grant body addressing this time?
Not really.
Not really. So if you are developing a fertility or IVF solution, I am not sure if this grant cycle is covering that objective yet. Moving right along to next question we talk about is that the grant outline always asks for technical solution or commercial readiness things, and marketing strategy, distribution channel, pricing strategy. What's the which one, from a grant assessor point of experience, which one you think this particular MVP venture program would emphasize on? Are they looking for technology solution of their problem, or are they want to see a holistic readiness of a founding team?
Okay, very good question. Okay, referring back to the guidelines, I think in particular, to answer your question, we should look at the three competitive assessment criteria.
Yeah.
Which there's three. There's innovation, there's commercialization, and deliverability. So they do look at a range of things.
Yeah.
Starting with the innovation, and usually that's and the whole program based on conceptually is you've got a piece of IP. Let's say you've put in your hard yards in the last 5 years, you've put in R&D, and you've come up with some kind of IP, and they measure it through the technology readiness scale, TRL, and it has to start with 3, but we won't go there for now. But conceptually, that's what you should be. I've got some IP. Let's say a drug that potentially can cure cancer, and you are kind of that much there in terms of the R&D.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's the piece of innovation that they're looking for. And then one of the questions I use to kind of workshop with my clients is, what is it that you and your team has already built, have already done, or whatever you own, that only you can do, but no one else in the world can. Now, it's a very far-stretched question. But
ability of this founding team, unique ability of this
you gotta start somewhere.
Startup team that you can deliver a unique solution to the world, to the problem.
So they do look for that kind of novelty.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first piece, innovation.
Yeah.
And then they look at commercialization, which would be where's the market, who's going to buy it, and all that, right? Distribution, product market fit, Where's the market signal? Where's the market demand?
Yeah.
And then there is another piece within commercialization is your alignment with some of the New South Wales government policy missions. And the current round, as of the last round, within the guidelines is still affordable housing, renewable energy and net zero, and supporting local manufacturing.
Yeah. So this is the emphasis of this round coming up as well. And
I'm not sure if they're going to change anything.
Oh, the document hasn't been released yet.
It's not. Usually they release on the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So between round 1 and round 2, there are slight changes to the application form, word limits, whatnot. So there's a chance. There's a chance. Absolutely. Yeah.
So if for people who is watching this video on YouTube on Startup Circle channel, after 9th of March 2026, most likely we have inserted the published MVP Venture Program documentation into the NoteBookLM. Into the NoteBookLM. So maybe you can follow that link in the description below, find the NoteBookLM and find the material and maybe quiz directly into it. But of course, go straight to the government website to read the material.
And I can, at that time, I can probably just do a little update on any changes that I've observed.
Yeah, so watch out for upcoming episode as well as check out the NoteBookLM to find the latest insight from Jonathan. Okay, have we answered the second question? No?
Yeah, so it's nearly equal weighting, innovation and commercialization.
But free equal weight area.
Are you able to deliver it? So that's the team and everything, right?
Yeah. Your team capability, supply chain.
Usually I don't really focus too much on that, because if you get the first 2 right, you're pretty much there.
Okay.
Right? Most people fail in commercialization because they fantasize the market. They do desktop research.
Okay.
And you know,
So that means without real customer conversation evidence, without real.
you've been through it, right?
Luckily I was through it, and then I was a lucky recipient of the process.
I mean, you've been through, you know, building your own stuff from scratch.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
you come up with a concept, and
Yeah, and then find the real
and
customer
you
to
try
talk
to go
to.
out there and start talking
yeah.
to customers, and you find that a lot of hypotheses that you had initially might not be right.
Absolutely true. And I learned something in my past corporate career is that each of the team member of the whole team should be talking to customer at least twice a week. Even this short conversation, talking about a feature, taking some feedback or anything.
Yeah.
Just pick up 2 ideas from customer, real customer interaction, twice a week. Answering an email support request, answering a complaint on the features, and talking to a potential customer why they buy and why they're not buying are good habit to have. So focusing on that one. I hope you don't mind me put my ideas on the table.
That's what these conversations are for.
Okay, so question number 3.
Okay.
It's chicken and egg now. You guys imagine that picture, an egg and a chicken in the bed together, and say who come first? Chicken and egg first. Do we need a product kind of working, kind of proven to win the grant? Or do we have a hypothetical solution with some client evidence there is a market? So which comes first from a grant decision point of view?
Okay. Again, I'll just share with you experience working with founders.
Yeah.
Most applicants,
Yeah.
they would think about a concept. I need to build this,
Yeah.
but I don't have the money. That's why I want to grab this money
Yeah.
to build it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But that's just one part of your business.
Yeah.
What about the other part?
What other part?
Market validation.
Fair enough.
Okay, have you talked to customers? Do you understand the supply chain?
But my baby is so beautiful. It's the best technology solution for the whole wide world.
Exactly.
Why would not people want to use it and buy it?
I don't know. That's your job to tell us.
Yeah. Okay.
That's your job.
Yeah.
What evidence have you got out there?
Let's don't call it the job. This is a bit negative. I hope you don't mind me. That's your winning formula. If you can work out how the client receive a solution and able to happily embrace your solution, that's a winning formula. That's not your job.
I think the winning formula would be, you know, before you do anything, you've got someone who said, you know, I want this, and most importantly, I've got budget for it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a solution that can solve my problem.
Yeah.
That's-
or I haven't seen this kind of
Or
good
whatever it
solution
is.
before.
Yeah, that's right. But the key point is a customer telling you that, exactly what they want, and also, more importantly, they've got the budget.
Yeah.
These are the hard evidence
How
of commercialization.
How to make sure the chicken come before the egg or the egg come before the chicken? What kind of evidence is best for the founder or the salesperson to extract out of a potential client? What kind of written or whatever evidence you would love to see in a submission, in a grant application submission?
Usually in the form of letter of intent.
A letter of intent.
And with the MVP Ventures program, that is
Yeah.
actually a mandatory artifact.
Okay. So it's already highlighted that.
It's a mandatory.
Do a letter of intent.
That's
Okay,
right.
that's good.
And you know, there are
Binding or non-binding?
non-binding is fine.
Non-binding. Non-binding is good enough.
That's right. Yeah. It really is just to get some signal from the market that there is a demand.
Yeah, that's right.
And from the content of the letter,
Yeah.
you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. When I do assessment, okay, back then, sometimes just by reading the letter of intent, I already know how strong this application is and where the business is at.
That's right.
in the life cycle.
Yeah.
Because if you have deep customer and market engagement, it will shine. It will shine through very easily.
That's right.
They would have talked about know your past engagement, perhaps their unit economics. How are they going to save money? How are they going to make money?
Yeah. That's
And how much do they want to pay for it?
Can I ask a question? The grant program is a matching fund grant or proportional split
Match funding, yeah.
match funding project grant.
Yeah.
So structuring the project so that it fit the budget application budget framework of the submission is important. what if one of my prospect client, or say two of my prospective clients, happy to pitch in $25,000 per person, per client, and then requiring government to match in 50,000 to make it $100,000 commercial delivery. Is it possible?
Not the way you have framed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, and that's exactly what I said when founders have never read the guidelines and then came to me and asked if they're eligible.
Okay, I see.
That's exactly the situation.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear in the guidelines that you need to have the money in your bank before you apply.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not before you apply. At
the
time
time
of application.
Oh, at the time of
At the time of application. You have to demonstrate that. Okay, let's say if you're asking for $50,000 at the time of application, you need to demonstrate that you've got $50,000 sitting in your bank account,
ready to go.
and that's what makes up $100,000 project.
Okay, I forgot about that, the timing aspects.
Yeah, you've probably done it back then anyway.
At that time, I was lucky enough we have some capital from our investor, so that was good. Okay, so in this case, for a coming applicant, they need some capital in the bank account, proven. I do remember we have to generate a PDF bank statement to show our capital in the bank.
While we're on that, perhaps it's probably worthwhile to mention the proof of balance, or the evidence of co-contribution that, meaning you do have the capability of forking out the other half of the money, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It needs to be in the form of an official bank statement or an official letter of proof of balance.
Yeah.
Proof of balance letter from the bank.
Yeah.
Right. And they also have a requirement of a particular type of bank.
Yeah.
Like an ADI, etc., etc. They've got a definition. Okay, because I have worked with a client previously where they had a bank account through an intermediary, like an Amwalix.
Oh.
And it's a legit Australian bank account issued by an ADI bank, but through Amwalix. That wasn't accepted.
Yeah.
From an eligibility point of view. So don't fall into the trap, because I know a lot of startups are not with traditional banks.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I am old school. I'm just with Commonwealth Bank.
I'm with.
Sorry.
I'm
This
old school
session
too.
is not sponsored by any of the banks. Okay, moving right along. Question number 4. Market size is always a major section in the grant applications. And beyond quoting industry report, total addressable market, blah, 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 what actually make a market case commercially credible in the eyes of the assessor? Have we covered it already?
Kind of, a little bit, not in depth, but
Say it again to make sure that everyone can pick it up.
sure. Like the typical TAM, SAM, SOM, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's exactly how they frame it in the application as well.
Yeah.
Because it's such a common kind of way of measuring how big the market is from all the pitch coaching out there and all the VC related resources. But then from all of the pitch decks and grant application alike that I've seen, a lot of people just blindly just throw a number in there because they've probably found it in an industry report, or they went up Google and say, oh, how big is the blah 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 market, and they just put, oh, it's $1 trillion market, but that's meaningless. Like that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If I put my assessor hat on or an investor hat on, like that's not what I'm looking for. Like I need to understand realistically, how big of the piece are you getting? How
So
much of
the
that
whole
money?
value chain, you have to explain where's your value slice
That's
with
right.
all the upstream and downstream suppliers' value stacks to the validatable or sort of publicly acknowledged market
That's right.
size,
Yeah,
and how you split up your slice.
That's the kind of language a more experienced entrepreneur would use.
Yeah.
You very, very rarely hear value chain, for example.
I don't use ChatGPT. Is ChatGPT capable of answering that kind of clarity question?
If you know what questions to ask, yes.
Okay, so Gemini, I have confidence that Gemini Gemini AI could answer these questions to that level of detail. But you do need to practice and ask those
It's having a
question
conversation.
precisely.
Like
Yeah.
it's like you've got a professor sitting in front of
Yeah.
you. You want to extract from this person.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
still need to know how to ask the right questions.
Indeed. And then specifically for grant assessor point of view, they are actually want to get that information.
A bottom-up analysis is
they-
always the kind of the pinnacle that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's
A
right.
bottom-up analysis. Like, okay, let's say you sell a
Bottom
piece
up.
of hardware plus software subscription. Let's say, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what you did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How much is that piece of hardware? How much
Exactly.
margin do you make?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
What's the LTV of your potential
Lifetime
customer?
value.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they'll stay 5 years. They'll stay 10 years.
Yeah, that's
Then you get a number, right?
Yeah.
Then from then on, you go backwards and synthesize, how many of these, and in your case, perhaps number of patients in aged care facilities. How many aged care facilities are there in Australia, in abroad, and there are bigger size aged care facilities, but we target the smaller size because they're less resourceful.
You're moving into a domain that we talked before, but may not be understood by the client, by the audience right away. Let's keep going.
Yeah, okay. but those are the kind of synthesis that you need to
Yes,
do
that's right.
to demonstrate that you actually know the market.
That's right.
If you don't even understand your value chain, you don't understand your supply chain, you don't understand how value is exchanged,
Yeah.
it can very easily shine through in your writing.
Yeah. And all the assessor are actually reasonably seasoned or very seasoned commercial industrial experts. They may not know the subject, but they definitely know how to check and validate your submission.
Each program will have their own kind of methodology in assessment.
Okay.
But in principle, being an entrepreneur, you should know those stuff anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The assessor definitely knows the method and would validate and check the...
Because a lot of these are just common sense, right?
Well...
It is common sense.
Common sense for a 20-year seasoned operator versus a 2-year-old operator, that's a quite significant level of difference.
That's where the effort needs to be put in.
Okay, we now gone through item 4 on the list, and I think we have already done 27 minutes.
Wow, already.
Definitely. That's why I said that this is 2 episodes.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us for 27 minutes, and link in the description below to Jonathan's website and the NoteBookLM to find out more about this conversation and the next conversation. Now we will go to our sponsor message and we'll come back in the next episode. See you next time.
Yeah.